In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how to solve multi-step inequalities. Very similar to what we did with solving multi-step equations. There's just one or two slight differences when you are solving an inequality. We are still looking to get our variable on its own side, isolated by itself, and a number on the other side. But we'll take a look at what the inequality sign does as far as our solution goes. One of the main differences is whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip your inequality sign. Now, so let's take a look at this example here. We're going to go ahead and start solving this just like we would a regular equation. So negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. And then I'm going to get a 30x when I apply the distributive property. And this is less than or equal to 54. So we see the only difference so far is that less than or equal to sign in the middle. All right, let's go ahead and solve this. I want to get my x by itself, so I'm going to start moving everything to the other side. I'm going to add 6 on both sides to get rid of that. So now I get 30x, and it's going to be less than or equal to 60. And then I'm going to divide by 30 on both sides, and I get x is less than or equal to 2. Now again, if this 30 here was negative, that would mean that I would have had to flip the sign, but in this case it was positive. I divided by a positive number, so I kept the sign exactly where it was. If I wanted to graph this solution on a number line, we could do that as well. And it's actually a very good thing to know how to do. So it's x is less than or equal to 2, so it's everything that is less than or equal to 2. Notice that it's a closed-in circle here, or a shaded-in circle, shaded-in point, because we have the line underneath because it is equal to. It would be open if it was not equal to. All right, let's take a look at one more example. Okay, so let's start solving this. All right, we get negative 13. I get 5, 20x minus 2x. Okay, I just applied the distributive property. Okay, let's go ahead and combine our like terms. I have a 20x and a negative 2x, or minus 2x. So I'm going to get an 18x out of that. And we're still trying to get our variable by itself, so I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides, and I get negative 18 is greater than 18x. Now notice I did not flip the sign because I subtracted. I did not multiply or divide by that negative 5. Okay, I subtracted, so you do not flip the sign on subtraction, only when it's multiplying or dividing by a negative number. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide by 18, and I get negative 1 and x, or I could also rewrite this as x is less than negative 1. All right, and again, we could also graph this on the number line. Go ahead and do that. Okay, so what this is saying is x is less than negative 1, so that means that x is everything that is less than negative 1, so I'm shading to the left. And notice this time we have an open circle, or an open point, because negative 1 is not included. There is no equal to underneath. Okay, so that's some of the basic rules for solving multi-step inequalities. Again, it didn't show up in these two examples, but if you were to multiply or divide by a negative number on both sides of the inequality sign, you would have to flip the sign. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as solving an equation.